Have you ever noticed how some people can walk into a room and suddenly everyone feels them? No announcement, no effort, no obvious reason, just presence. What if I told you the most iconic woman in Hollywood once proved, in real life, that this kind of shift can happen in seconds? And more importantly, what if you could learn to do it too? Because what you're about to hear isn't just a celebrity story. It's one of the clearest real-world demonstrations of what Neville Goddard called the state of being. And once you understand it, you may never approach manifestation the same way again. Welcome back to Real Life Manifestations, the channel where we break down true stories, real principles, and practical identity shifts that actually change your 3D. If you're ready to step into your power, you're in the right place. Now let's get into the story. I want you to imagine something very carefully. You're walking down a busy street. People pass you. Cars move by. Life is happening all around you. But no one notices you. You blend into the background. Now imagine this. Within seconds, without changing your clothes, without touching your hair, without saying a single word, the entire street begins to react to you. Heads turn. People slow down. Strangers begin staring like they suddenly recognize something powerful about you. Sounds unbelievable, right? But according to a first-hand witness, this is exactly what Marilyn Monroe once did in the middle of New York City. And what happened that day may be one of the clearest real-life demonstrations of what Neville taught about the state of being. Let's be honest for a moment. Right now, millions of people are trying to change their lives using manifestation. They are repeating affirmations, visualizing every night, scripting their dream life, watching endless videos. And yet, so many still feel stuck. If you've ever thought, why isn't it working for me? Or what am I missing? This story is about to answer that. Because the missing piece is almost never more affirmations, more techniques, or more effort. The missing piece is usually identity. This famous moment was shared by Amy Green. She wasn't reading about Marilyn. She wasn't watching from far away. She was walking right beside her, which is what makes this story so powerful. What she described was not performance, it was transformation. Picture New York City, Broadway, a regular day. No flashing cameras. No red carpet. No glamorous entrance music. Just two women walking casually down the street. And here's the detail most people overlook. At that moment, Marilyn Monroe was completely unnoticed. Yes, the woman who could stop a room with a glance was blending into the crowd. Why? Because she loved New York for exactly this reason. In Hollywood, she was constantly watched, constantly photographed, constantly recognized. But New York sometimes gave her something rare: anonymity. She could wear plain clothes, walk normally, and for a brief moment just exist as a regular woman. And on this particular day, that's exactly what was happening. Until she decided to change it. As they continued walking down Broadway, Marilyn suddenly turned to Amy and asked something unusual. She said, "Do you want to see me become her?" Pause for a second, because this sentence is everything. She didn't say, "Do you want to see people notice me?" She didn't say, "Do you want to see me act famous?" She said, "Become her." Amy was understandably confused. Become who? What did she mean? But curious, she simply said yes. And within moments, Amy witnessed something she said she had never seen before in her life. Marilyn did not run to fix her makeup. She did not change outfits. She did not dramatically strike a pose. Instead, she became very still, just for a brief moment. And according to Amy, something inside Marilyn clicked. Not loudly, not dramatically, but unmistakably. It was subtle, internal, energetic. And within seconds, the entire environment began to respond. Cars slowed down. People turned their heads. Strangers who had just walked past her moments earlier suddenly stopped and stared. Recognition spread like a wave through the street. Amy later described it as if Marilyn had pulled off an invisible mask. 1 second, anonymous woman. Next second, Marilyn Monroe. Same body. Same clothes. Same location. Different state. Think about this carefully. Nothing external changed. Not her outfit. Not her makeup. Not her environment. So what changed? Consciousness, presence, identity embodiment. This is exactly what Neville Goddard spent decades trying to teach the world when he said to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Most people misunderstand this completely. They think it means forcing emotions, faking confidence, repeating affirmations harder, or trying to believe harder. But that's not what Neville was pointing to. He was pointing to occupying a state of being. Marilyn didn't force attention. She didn't chase validation. She didn't hope people would notice. She became the version of herself that naturally evoked that response. And reality mirrored it. Now here, where this becomes personal. Because whether you realize it or not, you are already doing this every single day. Right now, you're occupying a state. Maybe the state of money is hard for me. Maybe the state of love never works out. Maybe the state of I'm always overlooked. Maybe the state of nothing changes for me. And because that state feels familiar, your nervous system keeps recreating matching evidence. Not because you're broken, not because manifestation doesn't work, but because identity hardens into experience. Your inner state is constantly instructing reality how to treat you. This is also why so many people get frustrated with techniques. They are affirming daily, visualizing nightly, scripting perfectly. But internally, they still feel not chosen, not secure, not successful, not loved. So the 3D keeps reflecting that. Because techniques without identity shift create temporary emotion, not lasting change. Marilyn didn't rely on technique. She relied on embodiment. So let's make this real for you. Tonight, try this. First, define the fulfilled version of you. Ask yourself clearly, who am I when my desire is already normal? What am I no longer worried about? What feels obvious to me now? Be specific. Certainty lives in specificity. Second, practice the inner switch. Close your eyes, take a slow breath, and gently ask yourself, what would it feel like if this were already my everyday life? Don't force emotion. Even a subtle shift is powerful. Remember, Marilyn's shift was subtle too. Third, carry it into ordinary moments. Move through your normal day, but internally remain that version of yourself. Quiet confidence, calm knowing, no forcing, no overacting, just embodied certainty. Exactly like Marilyn on that New York street. And one important thing. This is not about pretending. It's not about faking confidence. It's not about acting superior. People can feel forced energy immediately. Marilyn wasn't performing. She was being. And there is a massive, energetic difference between the two. Your goal is not performance. Your goal is inevitability. So the next time reality feels slow, the next time you feel invisible, the next time you wonder if anything is actually changing, remember this moment. A woman in plain clothes, walking down an ordinary street, who changed nothing on the outside, but by shifting her state, changed how the entire world responded to her. The real question isn't whether manifestation works. The real question is, what state have you been unconsciously living in? And more importantly, who are you ready to become now? If this shifted something in you, let me know in the comments. I am the Operant Power. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Real Life Manifestations, where we turn real stories into real shifts in your reality. Like the video if you felt this. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have your own manifestation success story, check the Google form in the description. You might be featured next on Real Life Manifestations. I'll see you in the next one.